welcome to Glen. I'm still not convinced I've pronounced that right. I do apologise to all the Welsh people who are probably going, oh my god. I've desperately wanted to come back here because I hoped there would be some colour in the trees, and if not colour in the trees, then lots of waterfalls. And my challenge today is to take images that I haven't taken when I was here the last time. So I've started off on the opposite side of the walk from the bottom car park, and this time I'm walking up the falls to the top, and then I can walk down the road, which will be a darn sight easier than walking down and then up the road. I found this little composition. It's not fantastic, but it will do for a start off. So let me spin you round and I'll show you what we've got. Now I'm shooting this in portrait, so it's going to be a little bit difficult to point out. I've got this rock here with this lovely patch of grass on it. There's a dryish rock there which isn't filling me with encouragement, but I've got to live with it. And we have this stick coming in, bottom right hand corner. The falls coming out of the left hand side, and I've managed to get in a little bit of this glorious tree without getting too much of the sky in. No filters, just the polarizer. And I've tried it on and off, and I've settled on a halfway house. I want a little bit of streakiness showing down here, but not too much. You can just see that, I keep putting my hand in front of it. Here, I've got a little bit of detail in the water, whereas that one I've got none. And I much prefer it with a little bit of detail. So that'll do for a starter. Now I know I said I was going to try and find some different compositions, but I couldn't resist this one. This is the place where I fell over and hurt my wrist last time I visited. So I determined not to make that mistake again. I'd like to have walked up on the left hand side, and over my shoulder you might see Andy Sheeder and Ian Williams. They've finally caught up with us. But as you get to the top, the wind is blowing the spray in that direction, so there's no chance of even taking a really short exposure. Along this side, which is where I've been up before, is obscenely slippy. Kind of Bambi on ice job, and I'm really not fancying falling down and hurting my wrist again. I've taken a different image from the bottom, leading up with the curve to the main fall. I've had to include some sky, because there's a bit of colour up there, and again it's a portrait orientation image, but it'll do. There is one particular location that I want to shoot, and I think it's the next one up. I did an image there last time. Oh, excuse me, I've got to look down because I need to see where the slippy bits are. Oh, but it wasn't the image I wanted. I didn't have my welly gogs on last time, so I couldn't shoot it. But I've got my welly gogs on this time. It's alright, people are saying, am I in your shot? This place is wonderful. If you haven't been to B-L-A-E-N-Y-G-L-Y-N, and I think it's pronounced Blaenau Glyn. It's fabulous. The only thing is, I wish there was a bit more colour down here, but it's stopped raining. Oh! Right, I'm going to crack on and wander back up there. Catch up with you in a bit. I've been looking for a particular fall. And we've walked all the way up Lynne, and I've now decided the fall I want is actually down the bottom. Hey ho! It's getting really mean and moody over there, over the tops of the hills, the cloud levels coming in, and we've got a lovely view down the valley. And you can see the water, or the little river, snaking its way down through the middle of the autumnal trees. They're actually beginning to show a bit of colour. We had hoped for some light, but we're socked in with cloud up there. But it is a lovely scene. Let me just show you this. Hang on 2 secs. So the scene you can see, there we go. I've started off with this waterfall coming in from the right hand side, swoops around there. I've got a little bit of greenery in here, and then you can see where the river goes down there, and it sort of snakes round. We've got a beautiful bank of trees, and then we've got the moody sky. There's some lovely cloud detail up there. It is beginning to rain. I've managed to fire a shot off before it started. Yeah, cleaning filters again. I was on, let's have a look. I went up to F18 and 25 seconds, so I'm going to drop down to 15 seconds and F13. We are getting a little bit of movement in the trees because it is quite breezy up here, we're quite exposed. But I think that kind of makes a painterly type image. I've got the 6 stop on, and the lad's over my shoulder. Not intimidated at all. Oh, that's a little bit too bright. I want it to be slightly on the darker side. 10 seconds is probably enough. So yes, having walked all the way up here, I've now got to walk all the way down again. Hey ho. Because as I say, that one waterfall I really do want to get. But I don't think it's far to the top now. So we'll see you up there. For what seems like an eternity, I've made it to the bottom. I've had a refreshing cup of hot chocolate, and I've come back to find the fall that I wanted to shoot last time I was here, and I couldn't because there was hordes of kids. And I've come to the position that I want to be in, but the breeze is blowing the mist off the fall directly to me. So that's problem number one. The second issue, this tree. I like it, I like the autumn colours, but there's so much movement in it, I'm going to have to do a really short shutter speed, which is not going to give me the effect I want on the water. I don't want 5-stop silkiness, 6-stop silkiness, but I want a little bit of whiteness, just a little bit of motion in it. I think I'm going to set the camera up and have a go. I'm thinking it's going to be landscape orientation, probably around about, I'm going to have to go to probably F18, something like that, to get my shutter speed down. Maybe half a second would do. And I need to put the polarizer on to take the glare off the water. So I'm going to get a little bit of movement in the leaves above the fall, but I think that might actually quite work. And I don't think it's breezy because none of the other trees are moving, but it's the force with which that water is coming down that's causing the spray to come towards you. Fabulous. It's like a little fairy grotto down here. Okay, so here you can see the composition, and although I've got a little bit of movement in that tree, I think I quite like it because it's goldy and green rather than just rather than just straightforward green or just twigs with no leaves on. I love how the water cascades down and comes round and flows out through to the left-hand side. We've got some colours in the ferns, and I'm playing with the polarizer. I've got it off at the moment, and as you bring it round you can see the water over here just darken down. I'm still getting smothered in spray, so in between images Can you see the difference there with the polarizer? I think the images I took were half and half, but that's no good, that one. So I'm going to wipe the filter again and take another shot there. And I was shooting there at 1/6 of a second, I think it was, or half a second at f/18, and that just gave me some detail in the water. Right, that's it. I have come to my final composition, excuse me. The thing that attracted me is there is a swirl of water down here, right at the edge of the riverbed. I'm just trying to make sure I don't put my foot in a great big bloody hole. We've got cascades coming down here. There's one rock that is really getting on my nerves, but I can't do anything about it. And then we've got this beautiful, I think it's a beech tree, where the leaves are just turning burnt oranges and yellows. Oops, it's very slippery here. And that just adds a splash of colour. There's a man-made something there. It's blatantly man-made. There's a piece of metal sticking out the edge of it, and it's bricks. So I've included that because it's pointing in that direction. I know that sounds like a very weak reason, but I think I quite like that. If I tilt too far this side, I get a horrible rock in there, but I lose some of that, which is what I want. So maybe just a little tweak still. That's it. I'm at f10, 30 seconds. We've got the polarizer on and the 6-stop. And I'm to keep an eye on the filter because it is raining. I think I've got some muck on the filter, so I'm going to wipe that off when it's finished shooting. Oh, and that's it. What a fabulous day. I'm absolutely shattered. I'm covered in muck. You might be able to see my trousers. Yes, I went thigh deep in muck. 20-second exposure seems to take forever. That's better. Oh, that's more like it. Right, let's get one without any raindrops on, shall we? Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens. Yeah, I know, I can't sing. I'm terribly sorry. I'm getting just a little bit of movement in that tree, but it's not bad. Not bad at all. And that's it. Job's good. So, thank you for coming along. Hope you've enjoyed the images. And I'll see you again next weekend. Bye for now.